everyone. So this is me demonstrating the game I hope to make. This is Devlog 1, and what you see around you is everything that I've gotten done so far. Not the modeling of a city. That is a free asset off of the Unity store. I just imported it. What I've got done is traveling. The objective of this game is to be a superhero, basically. Go around the city, stop crime, all that sort of thing. A lot of it will happen indoors rather than out, but this is where I wanted to start with a sandbox just for the kind of travel powers I envision. So, here on the left controller, I've put all the powers I have for flight. This right here, that's gravity. So if I move myself this way, gravity is currently off. There are three flight modes. I'm going to start with pull. Pull, I also call Superman mode, because you do this. You go in whatever direction the controllers are currently pointing. Superman mode. It's useful, I find, to have some drag, because otherwise you just kind of float. It feels very floaty. I personally have gotten used to this, but when I first started, the motion sickness with this, the disorientation, was quite a bit. So flying is a wonderful experience. I recommend it for everyone, but that said, it's not for everyone. I'll be showing off a different travel power in a moment that could work a little better for people with motion sickness that won't look that way to begin with. Anyway, Superman mode. So, that's pull mode. There's push mode. Push mode is the opposite. You go away from where the controllers are pointing. So, here I am moving forward, moving down. Blah. The only problem with this asset is I don't actually have any bounds around the city at the moment, so it's really easy to fly right off and into the abyss. I may have a little practice stopping that. All right, so push is a lot better with gravity. So I'm going to turn gravity on. And again, this is one of those things that it took me a while to get used to in terms of motion sickness, because that legit felt like I was falling the first few times I did it. So this is Iron Man mode because I am, putting my things out like Iron Man. Push and pull are obviously the non-copyright infringing versions. This works well with gravity because I tuned it so that one controller is almost a hover. It actually is exactly as much as you need to hover. The only problem, of course, with that being it's almost impossible to aim directly down and counteract gravity. But it's a lot of fun. And this is actually a little easier to control, at least when you don't have any drag. The other problem with the drag is that it makes it really hard to, well, as you might imagine, stop. The reason I don't have it is, see, I'm just skidding along the surface here. Might be useful for future super speed, but for now it's kind of a pain. So, the other power I want to show off, let me get some room here, is super jump. Got it on here. I've got this ludicrously oversized pointer because I haven't bothered to make it sane yet. This is like the Bezier pointer from the VR toolkit, but I wrote it myself and for specific reasons. So I'm going to press the button here, and I actually follow that trajectory as I move. So you can see about where you're going to land. This projects about 2 seconds worth in the future. This is the other problem with no drag. You see, I'm skidding along, so I can have a path here that's going to end up on top of this roof. And we go on top of the roof, and usually I would be sliding. So the interesting thing about this, and I don't know if I'm going to stick with this, the original version actually used the VRTK Bezier pointer, and it had the advantage of, this is using like real physics. It's actually modeling the path of the jump as I go. It's figuring out where the jump would go. It's doing the parabolic equations to figure out exactly how it is. And I don't think it's exactly accurate. I should be jumping, like right there, and I just miss it. So I think there's some things going on with the Unity physics, so it's not quite lining up. But it's remarkably accurate. The other interesting thing about this is, since it's modeling gravity, you can use it for things other than jumping. So if I had a grenade launcher, this would show the arc exactly of where that's going to end up. And by exactly, of course, I mean approximately. So I mentioned before, non-motion sickness inducing. Obviously this is quite motion sickness inducing, or at the very least disorienting. If you want real fun, do this and jump at the same time you jump. It is incredibly disorienting. It's a very weird feeling. Not even a motion sick feeling, just a strange feeling. But of course, there's no reason I couldn't use this as a teleport. For the game, I'm going to give you a wealth of options in terms of both locomotion and travel powers. So you can have flight as your locomotion, as your travel power. That one actually probably can't be modified a whole lot because it's somewhat intrinsic to the nature of it that you are flying around. But even then, I could have a 3D pointer, not like this one, but something similar, where you indicate a space in the air, press the button, and then you're hovering in that spot. It teleports you there, but the effect, the flavor of it is that you flew. So just because I'm showing this flying doesn't mean that you have to give up on your flying superhero. You can have that. It just won't play like flying, but it'll be flavored that way. And for super jump, obviously, I could have this to just be a teleport. You press the button, you teleport to where you would end up. But I figured I would get the motion sickness inducing ones out of the way first, just as a good way to demonstrate it, and because honestly, it's a heck of a lot of fun just to fly around a city like this and occasionally fly off the edge. So this is Devlog 1 of the project that I'm mentally calling Virtual Heroes. I don't actually have a good name for it yet. Virtual Heroes is taken by something else, so I can't call it that. But I'm going to be hopefully making weekly updates, putting small things in. Next week, I'm hoping to get some actual other creatures on there, or possibly some procedural generation for the inside of these buildings. Haven't decided yet. It'll probably be gray box, so it'll look even worse than just random Unity assets. Word of warning, it will be random Unity assets, probably for the entire game, because I am not an artist. You're seeing the quality of my programming. My art is even worse. They coined the term programmer art because of me, and I put it to shame. So, this is my game, Virtual Heroes. It'll be out whenever it's done, and I hope you all will enjoy it. Bye.